Hey guys, I'm gonna make a quick movie. I'll try to keep it quick. I know I'm kind of bad at that. I been doing a lot with these recessed puck lights that are actually under the cabinet. The recent one I've been working on was the actual island bar in my kitchen. I have a cabinet set that actually sits above a bar, and what I did is, and I could show you here. Okay. These are the bar lights right here. Originally there was a fluorescent light that sat right in the middle, and as you can see the wiring actually ran up through that hole. But I replaced it with 6 20-watt Xenon lights, Xenon puck lights, and I had a hard time trying to figure out how I was originally going to wire this, because see, that is a cabinet up above and we use it a lot, so I can't just pass the wiring up and through the cabinet. I actually had to run it to the end wall and then up, and then back there's going to be an outlet with twin sockets that are going to run the transformers. So each 3 of these are in a single transformer, and this is what I came up with were the covers. They're pine. They're actually trim. To what I'm not exactly certain, but it's a trim that I picked up at Home Depot. And I'll go ahead and zoom in and show you guys what I'm doing here. It's probably the best picture I'm going to get without actually having this camcorder dimmed down. Each one of them are cut to run in between the 2, and there's a standoff of about 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch. Probably a little bit less than they recommend, but allows a very decent amount of airflow. And what we got going on here is I routed each wire up underneath each concurrent one, zip tied them together, as you can see, up through the cabinet. Now that actually works really well. So what I got going on here is this is a trim. As you can see, it's hollowed out in the middle. It's thin enough. It's about 1/8 inch in the middle on the bridge, but and about 1/2 inch here to screw into. Each one of these I routed out a channel in the middle for the wiring to pass by, and that's actually pretty nice. Nothing finite, just enough to do with the job. So I still gotta clear coat these with polyurethane. And how I did this was I went ahead and cut 9-inch sections. Put them in my miter. I cut them, and then I took them and I ran them through the router. I think I put about 9 passes through the router to get that to cut out. And I have one that's, you know, basically like a stand with a fence, and it's pretty nice. It's a plunge router. But and you adjust it from the bottom up. It's pretty nice. So anyways, I did that, and then I went inside and I cut these recesses for the holes. They're actually 4.5 inch recesses. It's a little off from that, I can tell right now, but it doesn't matter. When it's mounted, you can't see it. I'll use this end. 4.5 inch hole saw, and it's actually like, you know, 2.25 inch radius. What I basically did is I put it in my, I didn't do it by hand. I did this on a drill press that I picked up recently. And I have a press vise, and I basically mounted it in the jaws like this. And then I went ahead and I drilled through from the top. And the bottom section, I actually had to break out with a chisel and break off the cut. And because I couldn't actually drill all the way through with the vise, it's a little hard. You have to have with it being squeezed, you could easily break the bridge. You can see how it wants to bend. So I couldn't pass that all the way through. So I actually got to the point where I could actually chisel through, and then I dremeled out the remainder. And then I just deburred the edges to where it's like a soft radius. Worked really well. I actually, to mount these, I actually had to take a C-clamp and like that, mark off where it went, pulled it down, then went about 3/16 of an inch in. Marked off each and every one of the holes, and as you can see, there's no actual I didn't mount these from this side, I mounted them from the back side down. So I went ahead and I made the initial drills from the bottom up after they were marked, and then the top I went ahead and recessed this. I made counter bores, and I made them a little bit deeper because I had to use a 3/4 inch long screw, number 6. If I'd gone number 8, number 10, it would have been too big and split the wood. It basically would have been just too big for the application. The only other size they make on this, I have a 1/2 inch and a 1 inch, and the 3/4 is the only one I could go with. So I ended up sinking this down almost 1/8 of an inch more than I wanted to. Actually, it's probably about like 3/16 or so. So yeah, it actually worked out pretty well. That's just the one strip so far. I still have to actually I have some spare 3/4 in the other in the garage. I have to cut I have to get a hole saw and cut this out, and then the hole saw cut the other part out, and then go ahead and fill this in with a wood glue. So that's something else I got to work on. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you. This is my IR thermometer. This cabinet pretty much sits at 75-80 degrees. It's just to show you how cool this runs. The closest I get is about 105 degrees. That's about it. And that's a pretty good IR thermometer. $105, $108, $110. Yep, and that's right where it is, because it's going to be sitting about right there in the middle. The same thing goes with this one. She's going to be sitting right in the middle there. So anyways, the transformers have thermal shutdown, and if you're going to quick install it, this is kind of like how you want to do it. You basically just want to put it in a light switch. The problem with these is they actually don't ground. They don't have grounds, so you have to go from a hot neutral to a hot neutral ground adapter, and the ground isn't really necessary, but then you have to go from a 1 to 3 outlet adapter, and you put that in there. That's the quick way of doing it. That allows you to sit there and do all your mounting and everything else while you're actually sitting there testing it, because personally, and I'm going to go ahead and switch this around. Personally, if you're going to go ahead and do any kind of lighting, I would recommend you not just plug them in, zip them in, wire it up, and go. I would not recommend that at all. I would recommend putting them in, looking at it, using double stick tape, saying to yourself, maybe I want it here, maybe I don't. Moving it, adjusting it, trying out the lights on, trying it without. If you install them during the day, you are going to fail. I mean, you have to try them at night, because that's when they look the best. So you got to kind of play with them, mess with them. You want to do some kind of setup like that. I believe that was about $2.50, $3. That was about 50 cents. This is about like $2.50. So it's really not that much. It's not much of an expense, and you should have it around the house anyways. But yeah, this is definitely the way to go. I love it. Like I said, I had a fluorescent light thing, ugly, horrible looking thing. None of the cabinets in here are really installed. Like, they use just screws and they just zipped them in places. I really want to go back and change that and actually put little covers over them, because they were just kind of quick installed. I don't have one of these $200,000 houses, and I don't even have a $100,000 house. But if this was up in Buffalo, it probably would be, me and my wife figured it'd probably be about like 110, given that I had a basement and an attic, which everything in Buffalo pretty much has. That's by default. But because it's down here in the Midwest, it's got a shallower angle to the roof, which is more or less like kind of like a crawl space. And I'm on a slab, but it could have easily been a basement. And to be quite honest, the prices in the houses really don't go up much more if you have a basement down here. It's just kind of how it is, unless the basement's furnished. So anyway, that's why I have kind of cabinets got screws and stuff in them. But this is the easiest way to go about and do that kind of modification, and I love it. I've had these now for about a week and a half, and I absolutely love them. Amerelle makes them. They're Xenons. They run cooler than halogens. Halogens are actually run kind of hot. The Xenons actually come on really bright at first, and then they dim down, versus the halogens actually come on and they brighten up as they go. but they do run hotter. And each one of these bulbs, I can't actually remember the replacement bulb number, but it's a 20 watt. You can change in 10 watts for them, but and run the same transformers. But I think the bulbs are about $2.50 a piece if you buy a 4-pack. So, and I haven't had one go out yet, and I have them in my garage for my toolboxes and stuff, because I have cabinets over my toolboxes too. And yeah, love them. And I hope one of these days you guys get to try them, because it's absolutely beautiful having recessed lighting. It makes your life so much nicer. I mean, and it doesn't run much. And the biggest pain in the ass is mounting them and doing the wiring. So give it a shot. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed this and got a little bit out of it. And it's kind of fun. It was the first time I really got into doing something like that with my router. And didn't really expect to get that involved. So, all right, I'll let you guys go. Bye.